Okay, you can hear me. Yes, please confirm. Okay, I'm just trying to inform everyone else on Facebook and YouTube and so on, sorry, and Twitter. And I'm really sorry for that. I'm not sure what happened. Please help me to, publish this around. It will be a great help for me if you help me with this. Okay, this one, if you can see my screen, this okay, this page has a problem, so I had to move to this one. I created a new session so that everyone can can join us. Okay, so guys, please share this URL everywhere if you don't mind. This will be a great help for me. Also, I will try to share it on WhatsApp groups. Plus Google, I think. LinkedIn also. I think we need them all. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jaish, Mr. Ayman, Mr. Mohamed. Thank you all for helping me. I'm trying to access everyone. It's really bad luck, but we can find a way to fix this later on. Okay, I can see that around 8 are watching now, which is really great. I'm still trying to publish it somewhere else. I will start in a few minutes, so please don't be panic. Okay, I think I did something good right now. So this is not working, and I will close it. Okay. So we already lost a few minutes, so I will not waste more time. I will start immediately. I think we have enough number, which is 6. I think we can get more as we go. Okay. So in this session, okay, I will get the description from here. In this session, I plan to help you guys to understand the framework itself. I'm sorry for this sidebar. We are interested in this description. Okay, so in this session, we will not do any coding. Actually, we are going to learn more about the framework itself. Most of us, or most of Odoo developers around the world, does not know that it's its name. Okay, Odoo framework. It's not Odoo framework. Actually, it's Open Object. Okay, framework. Okay, so the system is Odoo is using Open Object, which is the framework itself. It's like, you can think about it like Django you can use Django if you know Django already. Django, you can use it to build your own application. So the application is Odoo, and the framework, it's open object, and it uses some tools below, like Python, XML, and JavaScript, and jQuery, Backbone, and so on. Okay, so in this session, I'm going to explain how to use the open object framework and how to understand it, how to find the options and tools in the framework, because you already, as I mentioned here, that you already have the source code, so you have the best documentation ever. You do not need to find to move around to find a solution. You do not have to go there and there to find a new handy tool. Also, you can avoid implementing new tools if you already have it in Odoo. So this is the target of this session, is to understand open object framework. In this session, we are going to understand the models, what are the fields types available, and their attributes, which is allowed to use per field type. Also the ORM methods like browse, search, search count, and so on. For XML, there is a validation. When you write some XML, sometimes it goes wrong, so you will have a problem when you create XML file. So in this session, we will find where to find the file, let's say, that is used as a schema for the XML you are going to write. Okay, and also there is some JavaScript widgets available in the system, so you will also learn where to find them all at the end. And I did not list it here. It is a shortcuts which came new with Odoo 12. So guys, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to share it with me right now. I can see that no one has any questions yet. Okay, so please let me know if you think that I'm going fast, if I'm slowing down, I'm slow, whatever you do think. Anyone has any problems with the sound? You can hear me clearly? Do you have any problems with anything? Okay, from time to time I will stop for a minute to ask you guys if you have any problems, if you have any comments, any notes, any questions. Please do not hesitate to share it with me. Okay, I can see that no one. Okay, anyone have the same problem? I understand, Mr. Jace, but I need to make sure that anyone else has the same problem. Anyone else can confirm that if he has the same problem, please? I need to understand if it's on my side or just in Mr. Jayesh side. I think I need to also share it in Hangouts group. If you don't know, there is a group for Odoo and on Hangouts. So I need to inform people here too. Okay. I can see no one is telling me that if you have problem, guys, there is around 10 people are watching. So please, if you have any problems with the audio, Mr. Jais is telling me that he has a problem with the audio. Anyone else? Voice? You mean noise? You have a noise? Okay, Mr. Karim, you can hear me clearly with no problems. Actually, I'm insisting to know if you guys have any problems, because I had a problem a few minutes ago with sorry, with YouTube. So I need to understand if you have any problems. Hello, Mr. Jalal. We have just started. Okay, I need to. Okay, I will start. So no one is has any problems. Okay, so again, I will get back here to here, and sorry, we have Odoo here. You remember that we had already cloned this repository. I will move to the presentation mode, which we should make it better. Okay, so you remember that we already downloaded this repository from GitHub, and we cloned Odoo from there. Okay, the most interesting part is add-ons, where you can find all the applications that you can use it from the UI, like accounting, like HR, like CRM, for example. There is a fleet management, again HR attendance, and so on. So these are the applications you are going to install, and of course during these sessions, at maybe the next session we will start by adding a new module, and we will learn how to use it. But I would like to start with the foundation. I mean, with this session. Okay, this Debian, it's mainly about the configuration, or let's say installation and configuration, where you can find the config file, okay, and the service. Both are used for using Odoo as a service on Ubuntu. Okay, also here, this is the most interesting part that we are going to use, is this folder Odoo. Okay, just for confirmation, and let's understand the hierarchy. Here we have Odoo. Inside Odoo we have also Odoo. Here Odoo, let's say it takes care about the framework itself, the whole framework. Okay, so you can find here the base module and other tests modules. Okay, and also you can find the commands, which is command, deploy, scaffold, and so on. And I will show you how to use these commands. Okay, thank you, Mr. Jalal. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. I will see Odoo 12. Odoo. I will. You remember that I have created a new, let's say, a virtual environment. So I'm going to activate the virtual environment to use it. So it's Odoo. Yes, okay. But complete is not working. So I have Odoo -bin help. Okay, these comments, they are the same. Okay, I will exit the presentation mode again. Okay, so we have here these comments like deploy, scaffold, server, shell, start. It's the same here. Okay, so again, it makes sense to name this folder CLI, which is command line. Okay, also here in the configuration, it does nothing. Okay, the most interesting part, again, it's these files. Okay, Mr. Jaish, yes, you can use this, but let me confirm that if you are going to use version 8, this session will not be useful for you. But this session will be useful for other versions like version 9 and 10 and version 11. But version 8 is a little bit different, so I don't think it will be good for you. Yes, Yes, but let's say almost 90% of developers in the community are using Linux and Ubuntu to be accurate. That's why I'm using Ubuntu. Usually I'm using Fedora, but I'm using Ubuntu because the community is using Ubuntu. Also, it's it's easy to find the solutions if you have any problems. Okay, so let's start again. Okay, so I will start with the models as I planned in the description in the first, the corrupted file system. Here in the models, you will find the types of models you will usually use. Okay, normally in Odoo, you can find, let's say that you will create a new class and it will inherit models.model. Okay, so models.model. Okay, it's we can find it. Base model, it's, let's say, the most parent. Okay, the base class for Odoo models. Okay, it's most parent for all other classes. So I will try to find it quickly. Okay, it's here, model. So whenever, let's say, you have a module and you will create okay, I will split it here. So for example, here you have account type, which is inherit models.model. Where it came from, it's from here, from Odoo import models, and from models you can get model. If you know Python, you can understand what I'm saying here. Okay, so let's back. Here is models from Odoo.models import. Okay, and you will find model, which is it will be the usual one to be used almost every time. Okay, also you have here the transit module. Usually you are going to use this for wizards, and we will discuss wizard in its time maybe later on. Okay, when we create a new model, and we will learn how to use the transit model. Okay, the most interesting part is this file, which is fields. It also located in Odoo. Okay, Odoo fields. You can import also these types, these fields from here, as you can see from Odoo, import fields. Okay, then you can use fields just like here, fields.character, fields.boolean, fields.selection, and for other types. Let me check if someone is asking for something. Okay, I will zoom. Usually I use the presentation mode, but it's not working here. Okay, here's the presentation mode. Okay, it will be crowdy a little bit, but I think it will be fine for you. So again, this full file is for fields. Okay, how to use it? We can use it like that. We can just import it and just start to use it. That's all. Okay, so here in this file you will find all the fields you can imagine. So if you know the simple fields like character, boolean, selection, and let's say text field, okay, there are many different fields, okay, you can use. Okay, all of these fields also inherit from class field. For this field, which is, let's say, it's the most common or the most parent class for fields, and it's let's say use all the common attributes, and you can find it here. Okay, so for character you can use string, for boolean you can use string, you can also for many to one, one to many, many to many, and whatever the type you can use string. And here is the description. Okay, it's the label field seen by the user. Again, and help is the tooltip of the field, and also it will be seen by the users. Wherever you are in the system, sometimes you can hover by using the mouse, and you will find that it's showing a help message, and this message is written in help. Okay, you can find an example in the code, of course, like this one. Okay, so we have the selection. It has its values. We will come to this, and some other attributes like required, default, and so on, and help. Okay, this message will be shown in a tooltip when you mouse over, like something like that. Okay, okay. So also we have read only, and here is the description for this one, whether the field is read only or not. Okay, read only, it means that it will not be editable. No one can edit this field. Here is required. Okay, if it's a mandatory field or not. Also, you can find here an example. It's required true, by default it's false. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost it. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, for index, whether the field is index in database. Okay, this will help in performance. Actually, if you have, let's say, a huge number of data, let's say you have 5,000, 100,000 of customers. In this case, this will be very useful and very handy to make it easier, or the performance will be much better. So again, let's check here. Okay, no one is asking anything. Please do not hesitate to share your question, notes, comments, whatever you have in your mind. Please share it with me. Okay, here's the default. It's a default value for the field. So sometimes you can just click create button, and some values will be automatically populated. Okay, where it came from. It came from default. So here, for example, this field is volume field and has a default value true. So whenever you create a new account tag, the default value for active, it will be true. Okay, we can find something else. Yes, for example, this one, it will be by default false. As you can see, also there is an example to use index. Okay, so for some reason it expect this account to be you know, a massive amount of account or records in account. Okay, states. This specifies if this field will be okay shown, so it be invisible or not. That's why that's what I mean by shown. Also, it will specify if it's required, if it's read only, and all it requires to have the state field in this model. So I will find an example for this one. Now it's not here, so I would think I will try to find it some. Okay, let's filter. Yes, I'm filtering on JS, which is not. Okay, so we have it here. Let's use this one, for example. So an example of states, it is this one. Okay, how we can explain this? The state, if the state is draft, this field, which is name, will be read only. Okay, again, if date, it's draft, so read only. Oh, I'm sorry, read only will be false, which means that it will be editable in this case. So if the state is draft, this field will be editable. Any other state like reported, read only also will be okay, it will be false. Read only will be be false, okay, but in some other cases it should be, or in the other states it should be read only, so it will not be editable. Okay, again, if we came back for a minute to this file, it requires, okay, the field state. So as you can see, we have the state here, okay, which means that it's satisfy the requirements to use states for the other fields. Okay, so here we have groups also. This can be shared with any field type. So I will try to find an example. Okay, it will not here, so I think I need to search for something. Yes, this one will do the job. Okay, so we have here this field, which is, okay, it's a long name, but it's okay, it's a float, and now it uses, I think I missed it. Yes, it's this one. Okay, I'm sorry. We have this field which is current rate with type float, and it uses groups. It's in security groups. Okay, so if you as a user has this permission or this group, you are belong to this project, you will be able to find, or let's say to see this field and use it. Okay, so as you can see, it's comma separated list of group XML IDs, and we will come back to this when we create a new model. We will understand what does it mean by XML IDs. Okay, and this restricts the field access to the users of the given groups only. Okay, copy. It's Boolean field. Sorry, it's an attribute of type Boolean. It can be true or false. Okay, so it's true for normal fields as per the description, and false for one-to-many, which is and computed fields. So it will be true for any fields except for computed fields and one-to-many fields. Okay, how does it work? Okay, copy. Let's say that you have a customer and you are trying to duplicate this customer. Duplicate, it means to copy all the values for a new customer. That is the case. Okay, so if you try to duplicate the customer, as I'm saying, all the data will be moved from the original customer to the new customer. But of course, keep in mind that any field that has copy false, it will not be copied. Okay, so let's search for something like that. Again, it's not here. Okay, this can work also. So for this field, yes, we have here this cell line ID, which is many to one, and it's copy false. It means that whenever, if you try to duplicate the project, the cell line ID, it will not be duplicated, or let's say the value from the cell line ID and the original project will not move to the new project. Okay, and I believe that the cell order ID, yes, it's copy false also. Okay, so let me check if anyone has any questions. Okay, not yet. No one has any questions. Guys, you are still following, or? Okay, I can see that you're still following. If you have any questions, if you have anything in your mind, if you think that I'm moving fast, please stop me and let me know, okay? I will proceed. Okay, so the last one was copy. Now we will start with old name. Okay, assuming that you have, let's say, this field, okay, and the base and a model like project, and you are trying to rename this field. Okay, do you think that you will search for it in the whole system and modify the original one in Odoo? Of course not. You will not do this. Actually, you are going to use this attribute or parameters, which is old name, and it specifies the previous name for this field, and ORM can rename this field. So I will find an example for this one. Okay, I think this will do. Okay, copied fields, and this is a Boolean field, and as you can see, it's the old name was copy, and now it's copied. Okay, we can find another example. For this one, it was the new name is active, and it's a Boolean field, and the old name was archived. Okay, so it's active now. The new name will be active, and the same for other examples. You can of course navigate here and find more examples. Okay, so if you have fields, let's say relational fields and computed fields, these attributes will work for these fields. Like compute, in this you will specify a method, Python method, that will compute or calculate the value for this field. Okay, and we can find an example easily. I can see that we have this here. I missed it. Okay, compute. Okay, we have here compute. So this field is not a normal field. It is a computed field. What does it mean? Okay, it does not listed in the table in database. Actually, you will not find it. Okay, in the database, it will remain a computed field, which means that it will be computed all the time on the fly. So whenever you start the form view or trying to access this field to get its value, like let's say here, for example. Okay, this is a good example. So you have the project. For the task, you will try to find the project, I mean the parent project for this task, and get its sale order ID. So whenever you try to access its value, it will come here and start or trigger this method and compute its value. Okay, and how it compute, how you set the value for this one, you will set it just like that. It's task.saleOrderID equal whatever you want, and based on some conditions, okay, it can have different values. Okay, this is a little bit complicated, but we will get more details later on. Okay, so here inverse, as I just said, if it's computed or a relational field, you have inverse. Inverse here is can be used only with one-to-many fields. Okay, and I think most of you can understand that one-to-many fields are not a normal field. It's not found in the database. Okay, it's not like many-to-one, neither many-to-many, which is there is a medium project, medium intermediate table for many-to-many, but here for one-to-many there is no table, okay, or no field for one-to-many options. Values. Okay, so I will try to find. Okay, there is no one-to-many here. Actually, I will not search for inverse. I will search for one-to-many. Okay. We have here one-to-many. Okay, this can work also. Okay, we have here packaging IDs, and it's one-to-many. Okay, and also it's computed field, which will compute its value on the fly. Okay, and here is the inverse. Okay, I think yes, it's inverse. This also will get the value for the inverse field. Okay, I think I miss something here. Just a minute. Oh yes, I'm sorry for that. Inverse here, it inverses the calculation. So this is inverses the field. Okay, I think we need to discuss this when we create a new our module, and we discuss how to use it, because it's really hard to describe it here in this session on the fly like that. So I think we can do this later on. Okay. Okay. So let's say that search. Okay, it's how you find the values for this field. Okay, so if you are trying, let's say that you have the search box on the top right side in your Odoo, and you are trying to find some records. If you type something there, how to find this option will give you this this capability. Okay, for store. Okay, if you have computed fields, we have just mentioned that it will not be restored, stored in the database. It will not be listed in the fields or the columns in the database. So if you wanted to store it in the database, to have to be there all the time, okay, so it will be you can use store. So whenever you use store, set it to true, a new column in the database would be created for this field. Okay. Okay. As you know, Odoo has its own security framework and security implementation, which has groups, permissions, rules, and so on. So if you wanted to bypass all of these access rights and ignore all these groups and whatever it is, you can just compute sudo, and you can just use it as compute sudo. This will not work for you as a normal user. It will use the super user permissions. Okay. Okay, these are examples, and I think we have real examples on the right hand side. Okay, we can ignore all of these. Okay. Okay, so I will go for this right now, but I need to check again if we have. I will stop this one. Do anyone have any questions? Please share it with me. Still there, or I need to check? Okay, I think guys, you are still there. Okay, I'm waiting for your confirmation. Thank you, Mr. Jalal. I really appreciate your presence, and you are following this series from the beginning. So I really appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so yes, Jayesh. Okay, you are great. So please, do you think that I'm working fine, or do you think that I have a problem? I'm moving fast, whatever I do. Okay, I think that everything is okay. Okay, so I will proceed. Okay, we have just described or found the attributes here. I'm just, reviewing what we have already done. Here, these are the documentation for this class. Okay, these attributes and their descriptions are listed here. Again, I'm just confirming what I have said in the beginning. If you have the source code, you have the best documentation ever. That's it. Okay. So I will proceed now. These are the attributes we have just mentioned above. Okay, and we still have some description for this one. Okay, so we have here, okay, so something like co-model name. This is for relational fields. Okay, these are not usually used. Okay, so I will not discuss it because we have already a lot of things to discuss. Like okay, so I think with this one can be discussed because automatic false by default it will be false. Okay, this fields you can by default, if you are going to create a new object in Odoo, model is object, and also you can, if you are looking to the database, it's a table in the database. So object is table is a model. The three are the same. So automatic means that it's a magic field, like create UID, create date, and we will come to this later, so don't worry about what I'm saying. So and you have also ID, which is already there, ID, and create UID, write UID, write date, and so on. Okay. Okay, so here co-model name. Okay, this is the name of the field, by the way. This is the normal name, like just like this one. Okay, here the co-model name. This is the relation. If it's a relational field, you will use co-model name, and you can find it something like here. Wow, it's not co-model name. Okay, I will search globally. Try to find it. Yes, something like that. It's a relational field, minute one field, and it has a co-model name. So this is, let's say, the other table that it refers to. Okay, so again we are store index. Okay, manual what's specified. If it's a custom field, well, it's not clear for me, but again it's copy, and we have compute pseudo. They are the same attributes. Okay, usually we are not using them all, but we can use string, help, read only, required, states, groups. Okay, related fields also. Yes, default value, to set the default value for this field. Okay, if it's inverse. So as you can see, these are the most common attributes, or let's say it's already the whole common attributes for all fields. And where to find it? You can find it in the file fields and the class field. Okay, so I will show you again where to find it. Okay. In Odoo, you can find fields, and in fields you can find class field. This is the parent of all other fields. Okay, so other fields will inherit the attributes from this class. So let's say fault this one. Okay, we have boolean. These are the child fields. Okay, oh, I'm sorry, the child classes which specify the types of the fields. Okay, so boolean inherits Odoo fields. This is the file. Okay, boolean inherits the class field. It uses the same attributes. Integer is the same. Okay, also float is the same. But keep in mind, if you found this documentation in each class, you can find parameter like that. This means that this parameter, okay, is for this field only. Okay, we will get for this in the other fields. So fields like boolean and integer, it's very simple. It has nothing special. I mean, there is no special parameters, but here float digits can be used. Okay, of course, in addition to other attributes. So I will find it here. Wish me luck. Yes, we have here digits. If you found digits, so it's float. Digits, it's float again. So as you can see, it defines the precision of this field. So how many? Okay, so it's a pair of total and decimal that is, returning a pair of total and decimal. So it's about how to show the decimal or the number of digits after this comma or dot, and if you are displaying this value. Okay, so let's proceed here. Monetary. Okay, this one also has its own attribute like currency field. Monetary, it's about money. Okay, if in the sales order you have the total, the price, these fields is monetary, and they showing the currency besides the number or the value. So if you have $100, it will be 100, and the symbol for dollars will be there, and the same for yours and other things. So it should be available one at least currency, or let's say that if the currency ID is there and there is a monetary field, it will be set by default. It will set the value for this field by default. But let's say that you have another field for currencies, let's say second currency ID, for example, and you want to create a new monetary field that holds this value. In this case, you will create a new monetary field and set currency field for the second currency ID. Okay, I wish this is clear, but we can find. I will not leave anything for chance, so I will try to. Okay, for this one, for example, we have monetary field, we have the currency field. This is the parameter, and the currency field for this revenue, expected revenue, it's company currency. Where to find this field? It should be somewhere here. I think I will search for it to make it easier. Okay, it's a currency field, and it's minute one, which is a relation to risk currency. This is the relation. So a minute one field refers to risk currency. Okay, and it will be used for this one to show the sample besides the value. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, here we have string fields. This is not a field type, actually. This is a abstract class for string fields like HTML, text, character fields. All of these fields will inherit underscore string, and we will find it right now. But here, this one underscore string, it inherits field, so it has all the attributes we have just mentioned plus translate. Okay, this specifies if the field is translated or not, so you can translate, and we will also use this option when we create our new module. Okay, so as you can see here, character is inheriting underscore string. Okay, for character, it has its own parameters like size to set the maximum size of values stored for that field, trim, and it cuts, let's say, or get a number of characters or letters of a word only, so it's trimming it, cutting it. Okay, translate, it's the same we have just mentioned here. Okay, so translate enables the translation of the field. Okay, if it's true, it will be used, and if not, it will not be available by default. Okay, your text is the same, inheriting string, and it also using translate. HTML, it's the same also, and it's the same, like nothing special for HTML. Okay, again, we back to fields and we will start with date. Here in date, there is something interesting in using these in these classes. If you are using date, for example, you have its own methods, which is static methods. This method, for example, will return the current day. Okay, and context today return the current day as seen in the client time zone. So this is a difference between post today and context today. To be more accurate, this is recommended. This one, I mean, sorry, this method is recommended to be used to make it more accurate. So I will show you how to use it. Usually it's used for default value. Yes, here default value as I just mentioned. So the date, deadline, due date, and here is the parameters for default fields dot date dot context today. So whenever you create a new record in this table, the deadline will hold or populated by today date. Okay, let's proceed. This will convert the string, okay, to date. The string, if you have, it will take a string and it will convert it to you can find this here. Actually, it will take the string, which is value, okay, and it will convert it to a date object. Okay. Okay, to date. Yes, it was strange for me because usually we are using from string, okay, because we have also two strings, so it makes sense to have from string and to string. If you want to convert the date from string to object date, you can use this one. If you want to convert a date object to a string, you can use this method. And of course, we will discuss them all. So don't panic. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. I was checking if anyone has any comments, so please do not hesitate to share it with me. So again, here we have the date time field, and of course its own methods. Okay, there is no actually there is no specific attributes for this or parameters for this date time. It uses also the help, default, and these attributes, but also you can use now, for example. So somewhere you can use fields.datetime.now to get the current moment when you run this line. Okay, and here's today. You can also get today. It's almost the same other. Okay, we have just mentioned in class date, but here it returns it at midnight. So by default, it will, give you the date, but in midnight. Why it does this? Because there is another one to give you the accurate date in your date and time. Date time converted to the client's time zone. Okay. And here also we have to date time, which actually from string. Okay, so you can use it like that. Fields dot date time dot from string. I will search just fields dot date time dot to string. It will be easy. It would be always easy to find an example. So in MRP, for example, here this module MRP for manufacturing, you can find fields.date time to string. It gets an object or date time object and convert it to string. Okay. Let's proceed. Okay, to string. Oh, I was searching for something. Oh, I'm sorry. It's to string. I'm sorry. It's from string. I'm sorry, it will get the value as a string, and it will move it to a datetime object. Okay, and it's the same here for to string, but in the opposite way. It will get the datetime object to string, and you can find the description here, of course. That's why I'm just I keep telling that if you have the source code, you will have the best documentation ever. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. Binary field. Binary field, you will use binary field to keep files all the time. So if you want to attach something, you will use binary field. If you want to add images, like the customers has each customer has his own image. Also, if you have a project and you want to add some documents to this project, and in the same time you do not want to use the document management in Odoo, you can use binary. And of course we will get to this one also. It has no specified attributes. But here for class fields, selection. For selection, there is only two attributes specifies that uses only for selection field, like selection. Okay, and we will find it and find an example. Selection. Okay, so it's company type, for example, it's person. This field, this value will be the one kept in the database, and this one will be the one displayed for the user. Okay, so here's the selection. Okay, so if you inherited a model and you wanted to, modify the selection by adding more values, you will use selection add. Okay, so you will never find selection add. Okay, you will never find it. Okay, in let's say an original class. This is not accurate what I'm saying now, but it can work. Okay, it will be found always in a child class. Okay, what I mean by child class, it inherits something else. Okay, because team type, it's here already, but you need to add another option. So if you need to add the team type to be point of sale, for example, I think we have another option here. Okay, here we have the state, and you're creating a new module, and you want to sorry guys, and you want to add new values for the selection field, like state. You are trying to add new states, so you will use selection add. So by default, the cell report already has its own states, but if you want to add more, you can use selection add. Okay. Okay, reference field is one of the fields that you cannot. It's not easy to explain this one, but it's about it's a inherits selection. It's the same. It's like a list of items, but it came from a model. So if you want to reference to something, let's find an example. This would be better. Reference. Okay, these are models, as you can see. So the action, okay, and the selection is an object. Also here's this reference models. It's models or object. Again, object are the same as models, and they are all tables in the database. Okay, we will come to this later. It's not easy to explain this one also. It's not just like data and time and so on. Again, we have here a relational. Okay, for relational, this is the most parent class for relational fields like one-to-many, many-to-many, and many-to-one. Okay, and I will ignore all of these to reach this one. Okay, so here we have many-to-one. Many-to-one is the first one, and these are the attributes. Okay, the most common attributes for this one is co-model name, domain, context. Okay, and co-model name is the relation or the other model, that the target model. Okay, this is much easier, the target model. And here's the domain. If you wanted to filter the values, if you want to filter the values using a criteria, this domain will be very useful for you. Okay, the context. Okay, this is a dictionary that let's say that you are trying to create something with default values. This context also will be useful. Okay, on delete. Okay, this also specifies how this record will be deleted. Is it set null? Okay, if you deleted this one, so the target model should be also set the value for this value to be null, or restrict, or just cascade. Cascade means that you will also delete the other or the related object. Okay, auto join. To be honest, I did not use this one, and I think it's more related to the database, so I will ignore it, and also ignore this one. Because I never used it before, and I think it can be new for Odoo 12. Well, I'm not sure. So let's proceed. Yes, we were talking about many-to-one. For this one, it's a relational multi, and it's inherits from relational. And relational multi, it's about X to many. So one-to-many and many-to-many. Okay, we can ignore this one until we get to one-to-many. And here again we have the co-model name, which is the name of the target model, and verse name, it's the many-to-one field in the target model on the other side. Okay, also the domain, context, yes, limit. This will be the number of records. Let's say that you doing some search, you are listing some values, so you can set the limit, the number of the records to be returned once you the maximum, actually the maximum number that will be returned as a record set if you try to search or list these records. Okay, let us proceed. Here, many-to-many. Okay, for many-to-many, you will set the target model. You have the relation, which is the table that stores the relation. So as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, it's the intermediate table between two tables. Okay, this will hold, or let's keep, or stores the relation in the database. You have also column 1 and column 2. Okay, again, you have an optional or this relation, which is intermediate table. In this table, you have column 1 which is referring to these records, which is the model you are already in, and column 2 is referring to the other table, which is the target table and co-model name. Okay, so here just listing it again with more description, and again we have domain and context and limit. Okay, I think we came to the end. Not actually. Oh, okay. Okay, this is IDs. It specifies it's only for IDs. Okay, I think we are done with this file. I'm interested to know if you are still interested to proceed. Okay, because we already have an hour. Guys, you still there? Guys, you still there? I need to confirm. Hello? One is answering. Oh, hi Jalal. Okay, I think I did not lost anyone. Mr. Ibrahim Abed, Mr. Jaish, Kareem. Anyone else? Okay, so I think I will proceed. Okay. Okay, I need to find something before I go. Okay, so I think we are in the right file. Okay, I will go. Okay, so I will back to models to let's say discuss the ORM in Odoo. Okay, so in ORM it means object relational mapping. Okay, object relational mapping, it's about ORM, or say it's abbreviation. ORM is abbreviation. So ORM, it means that you are not going to use SQL by any means all the time. You will use methods, okay, to read, write, create, update, delete, whatever you want. You will use methods all the time. So let's start with if browse, for example, browse. Okay, for browse, it returns a records, an object. Okay, returns a record set for the IDs that's passed to this object. So I will find an example somewhere. Okay, we have here the browse. You can use it with any model. So we have the browse, just pass the IDs and it will return an object or a record set for all the IDs passed to it. So if you have a list of IDs, browse will return a record set. If you have only one ID, it will return one record, not a record set. Okay, so just keep in mind this concept. Okay, let's start with search. We have here search. Search returns also a records set based on a search criteria. It's not like browse. Browse will return a record set using their IDs. So if you have the IDs, you can use browse. If you have you do not have IDs, but you have a search criteria, like you need to get all employees or male employees. or let's say female employees. So you will do search for gender equal female or gender equal male. So search is about using a searching criteria, and it will return with a record set that matches this criteria. Okay, let's start with search domain. Okay, so you will pass a search domain offset. This will ignore some results. Again, we will this will not be easy to discuss here, but it will discuss later on. A limit, it's a maximum number of record returns. In other words, if you want to get only one record, okay, you can do the search criteria and get one, limit equal 1. If you want to get 2 objects or the first occurrence of 2 objects, it will get 2. So limit equal the number or the maximum number of records you want to get. Okay, order, if you want to order it, by default it orders by ID. Okay, if you want to sort by something else, for example, if you want to sort all customers or employees by name, you can add order equal name, so it will order or get the values, okay, sorted in names, also in dates, gender, whatever you want. Order will do the job for you. Okay, this will give you the number. This will, if search by default returns a record set, if you add count equal true, it will give you a number of the records only. If it's a let's say if it's true, if Boolean count. This is confusing a little bit because we already have search count. Search count returns the number of records that matches the domain or the search criteria. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to get the number of employees with let's say male employees, so you can use search count, search for gender equal male, it will give you the number. That's it. It will not return a record set. Okay, name get. Okay, name get, for example, you in some form views you have the companies. Okay, you have the customers. Let's say for sales order, for example, it will show you the name of the company, comma, the name of the person. Okay, so if you have Agrolet, for example, Agrolet, comma, okay, the contact name of this person inside the company. Name get specifies this. Actually, it returns a representation for the records. If you want to change how to display the name, this will do the job for you. For example, if you wanted to in attendance, for example, or holidays, if you want to show the age besides the name of the employee, you can use name get for this purpose. So you can add the self.name plus self.age. This will return you the age of the employee side by side to its name. Okay, name search, it's something similar. You can specify how to search for employees. For example, if you wanted to search for, if you typed M in the search box, usually it will list all employees that names contains M. It doesn't matter if it's in the beginning and in the end or in somewhere else. So, but if you wanted to specify the search that if you typed M and it will get only the employees that ends with M, you can use name search for this purpose. Also, if you want to search for M, okay, and get employees that starts with M, you can also do the same for name search. So name search will help you to get your let's say your results more accurate as you want to get them. Okay, what else? Yes, here we have def create, just the name of create. It's how you can just pass the values and it will create it in the database. It will add a new record in the database with this as the values, okay, provided. And keep in mind that RM is there mainly for access rights and to validate the data. So if the data is not correct, okay, RM will not help you to proceed with database process. If it will do validation. That's what I mean actually, and also it will do security validation. So it will check if there is access error, if you have no rights to create. Okay, if you are trying to bypass access rules, okay, it will give you an access error. If there is invalid value, again it will check it and give you a validate error. Okay, if something is wrong, like you have a hierarchy of objects, okay, let's check the example here. Yes, okay, let's say that you have a company like Agrolet, for example, or Camp to Camp, and you are trying to set its parent Camp to Camp or the same company. This will give you an error, okay, because it will, it will be looping of hierarchy. It does not make sense. Yes, unlink. This will do delete. That's it. Give the IDs or the object and it will delete it, and we will learn how to use it. That's for unlink. Let's search for copy. Okay, we have here copy it duplicate. So when you get the object and try to duplicate, copy will do the job for you. And keep in mind that again we have an attribute for fields name copy. If copy is false, the values will not copy to the new record. Again, if you have a customer name, for example, customer name and his own email, if you set copy false for email, so the name will be copied for the new record, but email will not. Okay. Okay, exists also. This is a very handy tool. You have you need to check if an object is already exist in the database. This will be very handy. There is a similar one which is ensure. Yes, def ensure one verifies if that the current record set. I think they mistyped it. Okay, so it should be record set holds a single record. If yes, it will go. If not, it will raises an exception. Okay. Of course, I will not modify this here. I think we have read. Yes, we have. I think we have diff. Okay. Read, just like search, you can find whatever you want by search, but it does not return a record set. Actually, it returns a dictionary of fields of values, okay, of the specified fields, and you can group by these records, okay, to get group by. I'm sure if you are familiar with SQL, group by. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to navigate over everything. We have to read, write. No, we did not check right. about updating the records with the provided values. That's it. It's just like update table set values equal. That's it. So we also, I think we can find something here. As you can see, it's here, and so there is some SQL, but it will not run until doing some validation to make sure that it is does not bypass any permissions, and the data types or data validation is correct too. These values is for one-to-many fields, and it's really complicated, so this should be in a separate session. It will not be easy to be done here. Okay, I think we are done with models and fields. We'll exit the presentation mode for a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, Selmar, I'm sorry for not having the sound. Mr. Jalal. Of course, I don't mind. We can find a scenario to create a new module. I don't mind to create a school module or textile. I don't mind. We will find the scenario for this. So I'm just trying to help people to understand and find whatever they want in the documentation. Sorry, in the source code. Okay. Okay, so guys, anyone else still following me? Mr. Mohamed Al-Qusayr, Mr. Jalal. Should I proceed? Should I stop? Please let me know. Okay, I'm done with models and fields, so we still have other fields. Sorry, other files. I think I'm losing focus. Okay, I need to confirm that you're still there. Okay, Mr. Jalal, so I think I can proceed right now. Okay, so I will make it easier for this one, for example. Okay. Okay, so here there are the widgets. Okay, so if you have some fields and you will add some widgets, this very handy file to find all the widgets, almost all the widgets that can be used. Okay, so let's for example find many tags. Okay, this one for example, this is usually used when you have many-to-many. So instead of having them all listed as a table, you want them to be viewed as tags. As you can, I'm sure that you know tags in customer or employees. So if you want to use it like that, so tags help you for this purpose. Okay, it can be found for XML. So we have widget many-to-many tags, report IDs. If you have S for IDs, I mean, it means that it's X to many fields. So either it's one-to-many or it is many-to-many. For both, you can use many-to-many tags to show them in tags. Okay. For radio, okay, if you have radio, it means that if you have many to one field, for example, and you want to show it like radio buttons, let's find example somewhere. Yes, radio buttons, it's something like that. You can select only one, so many to one, and selection fields, okay, can use this, okay, this widget. I will try to find it. You have here radio widget, which is company type, okay, and company type you have personal, or sorry, individual or company. You can check or choose whatever you want from them. You can, so it's radio button. This is how it is used in Odoo. Okay, status bar. This is an example also. Okay, it always used for the field state, and it always showed in the header. Okay, so as you can see, it's in header, widget status bar for field state, and if you choose anyone else, it will be the same header for field state. You can use status bar. I think there is progress bar. Yes, here progress bar. If you remember, in projects you might have an estimation for maybe 100 hours for your project, and you spent already let's say 20 hours, for example. So the progress bar will it's used for float fields, and progress bar will show a bar, progress bar, normal progress bar. I'm sure that we all familiar with this one. Well, I did not install Odoo for all of these options, because it will not be easy to find all examples in the UI. URL, usually it's used for websites. If you are having a URL and if you want to make it clickable, so once you click on it, it will redirect you to this website. For email, for example, if you click, for example, an email, it will start your email manager like Thunderbird, like Gmail, and so on. Okay, or our Outlook if you have Outlook, of course. Monterey, yes, it's the same as, or you can replace actually the Monterey field that we already discussed in the file fields. You can use a float field with this widget Monterey. Okay. Well, okay, I just moved around with the most common widgets. Okay, float time is one of the most common. Also, if you have a float field and you wanted to show it like hours and minutes, float time will do the job for you. Let's say that you typed 1.5. It means that it is 1:30, 1 hour and 30 minutes. You can find it in projects when you create or add an estimation. So you can type the float and it will convert it to float time. Okay. Other widgets are used by default. So whenever it showed in the UI, it will be a Boolean field. If you have a field of Boolean, it will use this widget by default. Also for the same for date and date time. By the way, if you have date time field and you want it to be showed as only date, you can add this date and inherit the view and add this attribute widget equal date. We will learn how to do this later on. Okay, priority. Maybe you can get this in help desk, for example, or tasks. You can find stars to maybe 3 stars. You can define the priority of this task or this help desk ticket. Also, the widget image is a binary field with widget image to be shown as an image, normal image like you have already in customers or in products. Employees also is the same. Users, yes, they are all good examples of widget equal image. We can find it. Okay. Uh, okay. So here you have the logo, for example. I think this will be yes in the company. Okay, the logo is using widget image. Okay, and here for country there is an image. Well, I think this is added lately. For the payment, you can find the icon like you know, PayPal and something like that. You can add the image and it will be shown in that way. Okay, so I think with widgets we will go through all of them all, but okay, I will show you where to find this file. Okay, it's here in web. Okay, and where is web? It's in add-ons. In add-ons you can find web because it's listed alphabetically, so it will. Okay, so you have here web and web static source JS. Okay, and finally you can find the file. Yes, it's field registry. Okay. Okay, so I think no one has any comments. Okay, so let's proceed. I will exit the presentation mode again. Okay, here is the shortcuts. This is an awesome feature that came from Odoo 12 to use the shortcuts. You can find all list of the keys that should not be used as key access because it will be used in Chrome as shortcuts. Okay, so A reserved for edit, C create, H home. So whenever you Alt H, it will move you to home. J to discard. Actually, if you just press on Alt, it will show you this on your UI. But again, you can find all this list here, and you can find the documentation for it. Okay. So again, I will stop this again. And this one, I was trying to avoid this one, but I think there is no way to skip. Okay, this is XML schema file where every line in XML will be validated against this schema. Again, if you are trying to write an XML file, add any element in XML file, it will be validated against this schema. Okay, well, it might not be easy to understand what is or how it is work, but I will try my best to make it simpler as much as possible. So okay, so if you found this define name function, it means that there is okay, I want to make it will not be easy in a way. So here in function, these are the attributes you can add. So you can, the element function, you can add model, you can add name, you can also, these are mandatory attributes. These are okay, let's say for optional, and it's clear here actually. It's optional, ID and context. Okay, let's find one function. Here function, you have name and model. Almost everywhere name and model. Name and model. There is eval for evaluation, but again here eval is a choice and it's optional. I'm sorry, it's optional to add eval. which is evaluation, but name and model was there every time in XML files. Okay, so also here, if you have report, if you are going to add a tag for report, you will have okay, ID, the string, and model name. These are not optional. So I will try to find a tag report. Let me minimize this a little bit. We have a string, which is here. We have model, this one, and name, this line. Okay, other attributes are optional, like here file, you can find it. Report type, okay, it's here. Okay, and so on. So if you want to use report, you can find all the optional or let's say all the attributes. Actually, if it's optional or not, I mean if required, you can find all of them here. Let's proceed. Yes, for field. Okay, the field normally takes attribute name, and this is a mandatory one. Others are optional. Okay, by the way, here name should have this one of these types. Okay, and also it can be integer, it can be float. Okay, this is a type, by the way. Again, the type can be integer, can be float, can be reference. No, sorry, reference is something else. Evaluation search. So whenever you find a tag for field, it will be okay, so whenever you find field, it will contain or has an attribute name. This is the case for all. As you can see, I'm scrolling down and it's name all the time. The attribute is there. I'm sorry, I think I lost it. I need to. Okay. So this is for field. The record, normally record can have ID and name. That's it. So if you have a tag for record, okay, it will have ID and name, and these are okay, force create. I think I did not find force create this before. I think this one is a new one. I will check this later. Okay, but anyway, we have ID and model all the time. Okay, force create, which is optional, it is used also. Okay, you can add context, you can zero or more field. It means that record can contain 0 or more. So it can contain nothing, or it can contain one and more of tag fields. Okay, as you can see, it contains 3. This one, I think they are all contains 3 fields, but of course you can add as many as needed. Okay, and also for template, okay, let's check. It's template only, not templates. So the templates can have ID as this one, can has tname, name, force create. So I think it will not. Yes, we have here name for this one. It's a template that has name, ID, and we have customized show. Yes, here customized show. Okay. Okay, you can proceed in the same way for every element, like menu item also for menu item, and this one will be the last one, because I'm losing attention. I'm losing my power right now. So for menu item, it can contain ID, name, parent, action. These of all of these are there. For example, we have the action here. Okay, we have the ID. Okay, let's proceed. We have the parent. Okay, and parent also there. So you can proceed in the same way to find everything for act window. Also, it's a tag that can contain context, ID, name. You have here context. You have ID, name, and rest model. Rest model is a mandatory attribute. Okay, and it's listed here. So I think we are done, I believe. Okay, so this is a theoretical lecture on how to navigate in the workflow. Okay, okay. So this is a theoretical lecture about how to navigate in the workflow and to find out what you really needs in your way to develop. So in your journey with module creation and so on. But of course, there is a lot of other files to explore. Like for example, we have APIs. We did not discuss this, but for this one, for example, I prefer to use it in applications. I mean, not to be theoretical, to be practical. So for APIs, for this file, for example, I will make it practical. Also for exceptions, which handles exceptions like warning, raising an error, and so on. So exceptions also will be used in practical. Here also for HTTP it used usually for web services. So also I prefer to make it practical. So I will not talk more. So I want to know if you get benefit of this session, if you think that it's good, how can we get better, do you have any ideas for the future? So please don't hesitate to share whatever you have in your mind with me right now. Okay, I will be waiting for you guys. Okay. Okay, guys, you do not have anything in your mind right now? If it's okay, I will go. Just go. So I need to make sure that you are fine as I have what we have discussed. Actually, this session will be, let's say, the basic for the future sessions. So it's really important. So even if you think that you were not paying a good attention to this lecture, please watch it again many times until you understand what we have here. And also do not I'm sorry for the noise, someone is preparing something here. Anyway, we are done already, and I think that you guys have no questions. So I think I will go now. Please do not hesitate to share it with me on my page on Facebook. I will add the URL here. Okay, and also do not hesitate to subscribe to my channel on YouTube to get notified for the new sessions. I really appreciate you to be with me for this time, and also I'm sorry for the technical problem in the beginning of the session. I appreciate you guys and thank you. See you in the next session. Goodbye.